Hello and welcome to day 4 of your 5-day challenge with the Better Back movement. Today we're going to talk about your mindset. So what you may have tried in the past is finding the willpower and motivation to get up and push you through some low energy, painful workout that leaves you in pain for the next 2 or 3 days, wondering where you're going to find the willpower and motivation to do it all again. You feel like that extra weight around your belly is what's causing the back pain, and that extra weight and load is causing knee pain. So we talked about how to engage your core and prevent a lot of lower back issues and hip issues on day 1. Then we talked about how to lose weight on day 2. Yesterday we talked about how to strengthen the body up and alleviate this pain and injury. So there's no need to put yourself through this pain and misery. So willpower and motivation really take a step back. I think the most important thing when it comes to your mindset is certainty. So you may see me being all fit and active, but there's going to be this inner dialogue. He's young, he's 30, he's 35, I'm older, I've got all these problems. So I could show you examples of middle-aged women, mums, menopausal, Hashimoto's, PCOS, hypothyroidism, can't use their thumbs, 5 herniated discs, no knee cartilage, but you're still going to have this inner dialogue of why they've achieved it and you haven't. And when you are starting to see some results, you know, this is familiar, like, keto worked for me for a while and then it stopped, or it worked for them and then it didn't. So the only thing that's going to give you certainty is your own progress. You don't have to measure any other numbers but your own progress. So when it comes to accountability, the only thing I'm really going to ask is, how's your progress? If you have no answer, then you haven't done your measurements. And it might come back to feelings like, feeling this, I'm feeling that, but it's not going to last. So do your circumference measurements as you're getting closer to your goal. And as you're getting really close to your goal, you do your body fat percentage. Then you can look subjectively back at your previous week. See where you're tripping up and what's creating changes. Now you could just go, gee, I have dessert every night, or gee, I'm really hungry and then I binge after fasting. But we want to create a plan, and rather than trying to just cut things out, we want to include them in the plan so there's not this big drastic change. So first, like I did on day 2, track your protein intake. Then at the end of the week, measure the result. So that would be your current circumstance or your current measurements. If it's looking quite bleak, then you'll want to take your current routines and habits and create a new plan around them. So it's not about just jumping on some new meal plan or shake plan or some 75 hard challenge and trying to change all your routines and habits at once, but just adapting them and making a bit of a plan around that. Then the next week, most of your tracking is done because you've already made it your plan, right? So you can track what didn't quite go to plan, things that you found really hard, things that keep popping up. Then get to the end of the week and do your measurements. Maybe they're not such a big deal. Maybe you are still seeing progress, even though you've had a snack or a treat here or there, or enjoyed yourself on Friday night, or whatever it may be. If you're not seeing the progress that you want, then you can just make some small changes and repeat it. So track, measure, plan, and repeat. Get that certainty, make some small changes. Then you might have someone in your corner, like myself, who can help you look at your routines and your habits and your plan and make some smart changes rather than just beating yourself up, telling yourself you're going to have the willpower and motivation next week. Next week's going to be better. Next week, that's not going to happen. Next week, this isn't going to happen. But, making some real changes to your routines and habits. Step by step, progressing So the first goal is to be hitting your protein target regularly and doing your measurements. And then we can make some changes to your routines and habits, which are going to influence your calorie intake, so you still keep seeing some results. But if nothing's really changing on the surface, don't be discouraged, because this whole process, you're changing your body composition by eating enough protein and stimulating your muscles to grow, 1, 2 or more times a week. Then your body is going to be changing for the better. Your metabolism is going to be changing, your body composition is going to be changing. So even if you have an average week and nothing really changes, it's not like you're undoing your work. When you've in the past, when you've lost a few kilos and you stop and put it back on again, your progress is only, your progress is only lasting as long as you're on the treadmill. Whereas this way, you're making long-term changes for the better. So today's task is to make a commitment to checking in with yourself once a week. So you don't have to beat yourself up when things come up or don't go to plan or be reactive during the week. Just spend some time on the weekend to do your measurements and reflect, and then make a new plan. Do your planning and as much preparation as you see fit for the coming week to really make some changes, and stop waiting on the motivation and willpower to push your low energy self through some painful exercise. I hope this has been helpful. I look forward to your comments and seeing you in tomorrow's video, where we're going to make the final step into the foundations of your new self.